Hey, Bastish BF for 64K, and welcome to another episode of Opening the Shinies. Haven't done one of these in many years. This is basically where I unpack a couple of boxes, gaming related boxes that I've recently received. And welcome back. So yesterday I received two packages, both at the same time. One of them I ordered myself, another one is sent from a friend. And we're going to open them up. They're all gaming related and check them out. This is the one I ordered myself. We'll get to that later. And the other package is this big one sent by my friend Audie Sawley from Limited Run Games. He said he was going to send me something a while ago, and it finally arrived. Don't know what it is yet. He didn't say anything, so it's going to be mystery. And I managed to find Mr. Pointy, my good old trusty knife that we used in the first about 15 or 16 episodes of this show right at the beginning when this channel first started. I haven't done one since, so it's been many years. Mr. Pointy is back, so let's get this thing started. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I've just unwrapped everything just to save a whole lot of time. I've got all the games piled up over here. We'll start looking at them. It's an amazing bunch of stuff. Wow. I don't even know what to say. It's like Christmas or something. Let's check out the first game. First up we got the Jurassic Park Classics Collection. This has a whole bunch of 8 and 16-bit Jurassic Park games from the 90s. Super cool. I absolutely love the Sega Genesis ones, Rampage and the original. I haven't played a lot of the other ones, so this is pretty cool. This one has 7 Jurassic Park games. You got everything from, looks like the NES, you got Game Boy, you got the 2 Sega Genesis or Mega Drive games, you got the 2 Super Nintendo games, and another handheld one. I don't know, all these games. This comes with a full manual as well, which I really love about their stuff. It's not one of those, you know, Switch boxes that you buy that's got nothing inside of it. Wow, I really want to play those Sega ones especially again. I really love them. And next we got 2 of the same game. This is Trip World DX. This is, as far as I know, this was a Game Boy game that was only released in Japan by Sunsoft. I don't know too much about it. I know it's like an action platform game. It looks super cute. It looks very cool. I've actually seen a trailer for this a little while ago. And amazing. This is got the Switch version here, which comes with everything. Oh, good old manual. I love that. It's such a lot of quality. So this is an all-new colorized version of the original. So I'm guessing both versions of it are on here. Just this colorized version looks amazing. Whole bunch of extras that come on this. My daughter's really gonna like this. And this, is this actually a Game Boy game, like a physical cartridge? That would be whoa, really? They did that? Oh, look at this. This is actually a legit Game Boy cartridge. Wow, this thing's hefty. Let's check it out on my Game Boy. Okay, bye-bye, Blades of Steel. Slap this thing in. Let's get to the actual game here. Wow. That looks amazing. So this is running on my Game Boy Color. It looks like a fully colorized version, like really high quality here. This isn't like one of those Game Boy games that has just been, you know, it's gone from the green to like the browny kind of orangey color. This is like a full-on, looks like a full-on like remake of the whole thing. Damn, I can't believe they did this. This is so super cool. Looks like it's got a colorized version of it. I don't know if this is an enhanced version. I haven't looked too deeply into it yet. I know that This Switch version comes with the original Game Boy version and like a kind of enhanced colorized one. This is fully colorized. I don't know if this is how the original version came or whether you can select different ones, but I'm just briefly looking at everything here for the first time, so it's all kind of new to me. That is amazing. What an amazing package too. I love it. It's also got a full instruction manual in here as well. Wow, so much to look at.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Vashtish B presents.
And the next game, I'm really like shocked by, because we actually talked about it last year at Portland Retro Gaming Expo. He said he found this at a thrift store, and I said I don't actually have that game, not implying that I wanted it, even though I secretly wanted it, but it's a Commodore 64 game that I don't have an actual physical version of it. So this Choplifter said he found it in a thrift store in Montreal. So super cool. This is, if you don't know anything about this, this is made by Broderbund. This came out in the early 80s, probably 82-ish era. This Commodore 64 version is super cool. I think this is the cartridge version, because this is a US release. Let's check a look. Yeah. There we are. Little Broderbund cartridge. How cool is that? Wow, this thing was, 1982. So we're looking at a good chunk of decades there. And yeah, it looks like it has a manual as well inside and all the extra stuff. Very cool. Oh, I just love, oh man, thanks dude. I wasn't expecting that. It's always so cool to add a Commodore 64 game to my collection. Obviously I'm a huge fan, duh. And okay, we're not going to mess around. While I'm blabbing here, I'm going to put this thing on and see if it actually works, see if this cartridge from like 40 years ago or so actually still works. And you'll see some B-roll, hopefully it does. This was one of the first games I actually played on the Commodore 64. At least the first bunch of games I played at my friend's house when I first met him, and he had a C64. He got it right at the beginning. I got mine in 1984, but he had it like probably in 1983, so that's when I probably played this. And it's an amazing game. Sega made a cool arcade version of it. I think that's the best version out there, but this original version plays exceptionally well. If you've never played the C64 version, you really should. It's a real classic. And next up is a game that I did a full review of and developer interview. You can go check that out as well. This is RZ, the Jewel of Faramore. This is an amazing game. This is a game that already worked on like from the ground up in terms of everything, and you can go and watch that video and listen to all the behind the scenes stuff. It's pretty interesting. This is an amazing game if you don't know anything about it. It's kind of like an action platform adventure game that's done in the style of a Philips CDI game, which is obviously seen as, you know, those games are seen as terrible, but it's done in a graphical style of that kind of animation and look, but it's done with like modern sensibilities. So it's an amazing mashup. I don't think anybody's ever done this kind of bizarre mashup before. It works exceptionally well. So this is a type of game. Let's just have a look here. Full instruction manual as per usual. I love it. I'm really happy I got a physical copy of this. I had a digital version for the when I did the review, but having a physical is 1,000 times better. I don't even consider owning a game if I have a digital version. It doesn't really exist to me. That's just how I feel. So now I actually own this game, which is amazing. I think this is where modern video games are at their best. in this era. For me personally, I've completely and utterly lost interest in massive AAA games. I don't even care anymore about anything that's coming out. Nothing really interests me. I just don't like anything to do with it. These kind of mid-range games in terms of budgets and like, you know, in terms of style, giving the creators the abilities to just do whatever they want, because these games are not $100 million or whatever it costs to make a AAA game, probably 10 times that. But so this is where I think modern gaming really is at. Like, you know, all these companies that are releasing physical versions of them, I think I applaud you. Anybody that says anything negative to say about that, you're a fool. This is just awesomeness, and I love the fact that physical versions of these are available. And having played this game, I can tell you it's very, very good. And if you're interested, you should definitely check this one out. And next we got River City Girls Zero. This is a unreleased, at least for Western audiences, Super Famicom game from about 1994. It was released in Japan only as part of the Kunio-kun series, which was renamed, you know, the River City Ransom series over here in the West. This one was never released in English, so this is officially translated and released in the West for the first time ever. Look how cool this is. It's done in a video cassette, like a 90s video cassette style, a US kind of style. I love the limited run little logo here. It's been modified. There was an anime company in the 90s, I think it was called ADV or something like that, and that was their logo. They've kind of like modified it here, a little bit of an homage. This game looks cool. This is like a scrolling beat 'em up mixed with other elements. It's got bike riding sequences, mode 7 style. Looks like this has got a whole lot of enhancements to it. English and Japanese voiceover, animated intro, 1 or 2 players, force, playable characters, a whole bunch of other stuff. This is going to be fun. Let's take a look here. Gotta love that. Let's check out what else is in here. There we are. And we've got the game here. And this looks, oh man, this looks cool. Look at this artwork. Super nice. And yeah, I haven't opened this. This is still fully sealed. I'll just leave this sealed right now. It's heavy. It's obviously got an instruction manual and everything in here, no doubt. This is right up my alley, this type of game. And this is going to be fun to play. 2-player action as well. Excellent. And next up is Alien Isolation, the collection. If you've never played this, it's an amazing survival horror game. One of the best I've ever played, like ever. And this is done in that cool VHS kind of style again, just like River City Zero. I love that. It just looks awesome. Let's take a look what's inside here. VHS, super cool. And I'm hoping this has the DLC that came with it. The DLC for this game was amazing. You get to play Ripley, and it kind of recreates the whole original Alien movie, which is insane, using this engine. Oh, what the heck is this? This looks like a steelbook. How cool is that? It's done in that kind of minimalistic style. You can put the game in here. Very nice. What else? Got the game. Yep. And here it is. The collection. Let's just see here. The complete collection, loaded with all 7 DLCs. If that's the way you're going to do releases. If you're going to release something, you know, put all the DLC on there. You know, especially if it comes out after the game has been released, long after it's been released. It's the way to do it. Yeah, it's got the Lost Survivor. It's got the recreation Ripley. And this one, if I remember correctly, you play Ripley's daughter. It's very good. This feels chunky, so it's probably got a manual and everything in here. I'm not going to open this right now, just to save a bit of time. Yeah, very nice to have this. Super happy. Whew. Take a quick second here. If you're watching this, it's been edited, but I've been sitting here for a long time at this point, and I'm shooting B-roll at the same time, so it's a lot of work. We got 2 more games to check out in this package, and then we'll check out the one that I ordered. In the meantime, here's a 64K advert. And the next game is something I know Audie has a lot of passion for. This is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Definitive Edition. If you don't know anything about this game, it is notoriously known as one of the worst games ever made. The fact that they are preserving this, I think, is amazing. The amount of, I mean, this thing weighs a ton. There must, I don't know what's in here. It's like everything but the kitchen sink. If you don't know, this came out on the 3DO in the 90s. It's, I don't even know how to describe this game. I guess it's like an Americanized visual novel, I guess. And bear in mind, visual novel games were super popular in Japan, even from the 80s. Visual novel games in the 90s in America or the West were like nothing. They weren't popular at all. The fact that this is using like still frames, like kind of photos of real people, it makes it even more chunky. Yeah, I've actually played this on the 3DO, at least sampled it. I burnt a disc on for my 3DO and I messed around with it a good number of years ago at this point, so I'm interested to see what is done here. I know this has a ton of, he did a ton of work on this, like a documentary, tracked down all the actors that were in this, everything. It's really meticulous. I don't think there's ever been this amount of detail gone into a game that's so bad. I applaud that. Well done. And this thing comes with a ton of stuff. It's super heavy. Let's check this out. Okay, so let's see what we got here first. Don't know what this is. Plumber on a bike sticker. It's opening like some sort of James Bond dossier or something. Whoa, strategy guide? Wow, strategy guide. Imagine that. Wow, this is really cool. Look at the amount of work that went into this. Insane. I love it. And we got looks like some sort of poster. That's the one side. Then you can flip it over. And you got that one. Kind of an anime version of the main character from the game. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. We got a little bunch of stickers. What the hell is this? This is a 7-inch? My god, we got the soundtrack on a 7-inch vinyl. Whoa, made in the Czech Republic. How crazy is this? This is like levels of madness that you just gotta accept and respect. Still feels very heavy. Oh my god, it's a framed picture. Life is a game, and this game is full of life. Now that's what you call a good quote. You got a plumbers don't wear tar pen. It looks like this thing has, you can pull this. I don't know what this is yet. And I just figured out what this pen is. It's one of those classic 90s kind of message decoders. I've just written on this piece of paper. How cool. Literally got a tar. Hey, I found the game. Plumbers don't wear tars. God, you gotta love that cover. That is awesome. For the first time since 1993, the original version of the game is faithfully presented alongside a 4K remastered photos and a wealth of documentary and interview content. I might have to make a special video about this one because, and actually the next game, which I had planned anyway, because there's just so much to talk about here, and I think it'll be very interesting. I don't usually do videos on bad games because I feel like it's a waste of my time. I like to just showcase stuff that I like, but this could be an exception to that rule just because of the sheer amount of passion that's gone into this. I can only respect that kind of thing. And I've saved this special game here for the end. I've been personally waiting for this for a very long time now. It's because I say that because I worked on this game in a very small capacity, very small, but it's a little bit of a contribution, and I'm so honored to have contributed in even the slightest little way to this game getting released and contributing to the lore of it. Just because if you've watched my channel for a long time, you'll know I'm a massive Manfred Trends fan and Rainbow Arts, the European gaming company. And so this is Limited Run's re-release of Rendering Ranger R2. Look at this chunky limited edition box. Amazing. If you don't know anything about this, this is, if not the last or one of the last games that Rainbow Arts released with their logo and everything. And it's one of Manfred Trends', I would say it's his last big game in terms of exposure and that kind of thing. He went on and made a bunch of Game Boy stuff, Game Boy Advance stuff and that. But this is the last big game in his kind of style, in that kind of Turrican style and that kind of Catechus and all those kind of classics. And yeah, it was only released in Japan on the Super Famicom, this game, and it was released in a very limited run, and that was it. And it's super hard to find, super rare, and also most people haven't played it, which is a shame. It's a run and gun in kind of a Turrican kind of style with little elements and stuff like that. But yeah, and I'll read this little thing that Audi sent me just so you get a little bit of context here. We'll look at the game right now and open this up, but I'll also show you this. This is, as you can see here, obviously Super Nintendo cartridge. It's got kind of a sticker there, RNDR, you know. This is actually a prototype. Yeah, this is just a little accompanying letter that Audi sent to me, and I'll just read a portion of it, but some of it's more personal. Anyway, Rendering Ranger, as a man who I feel has done more to bring a much needed highlight and value to the world of the C64, Manfred Trends and the like, I felt the story of Rainbow Arts' final classic couldn't be told without your involvement. As such, I included something for you. You will find a loose cartridge of Rendering Ranger R2 inside. This is the very first production print of our re-release and a one-of-a-kind. So you now own something even more rare than the original Super Famicom cartridge. And I won't read the rest. There's a lot of personal stuff in there. And wow, man, that hits hard. And that's wow. I don't even know what to say, really. It's just it's so cool to have this. Whew. I haven't even tried this out yet, so I will be making a separate video on this. That was always the plan, because there's a lot of stuff I want to cover in this game. So there will be a video coming out later on 64K about Rendering Ranger and this whole thing, so you can check that out in more detail. But for now, let's just open this box and have a quick look of what's inside. Ooh, how nice is that? So nice to see this in like a physical form. And we've got a whole bunch of trinkets, a soundtrack on CD. Now that's how you do it. Now that's how you do a re-release. Ooh, it's got a remix by Chris Hulsbeck. Awesomeness. And there's a whole bunch of other trinkets in here. Let's take a quick look at them. Got a little keychain with the spaceship, the dude from Rendering Ranger, key pin. Got a gold coin here. Oh, we got a big old poster. It's like a big Japanese poster here. Might be a double-sided one as well. Oh yeah. Manual, gotta love it. Rainbow Arts logo, so nice to see that. And here's the actual cartridge. This is like off the production, you know, official. Here's the first printing, I guess you call it. And yeah, it hasn't got the sticker on the back. You can see that. My contribution, if you're curious or not, my contribution was just to this manual. He asked me to do a little write-up about Manfred Trenz himself. You know, like a little bit of a biography, I guess, just to sum up the guy. So if you're unfamiliar with him, you can just read this and get a bit of his backstory and the games he made and stuff like that. I based what I've written here off a documentary I made when I started this channel, like quite a long time ago, and I kind of adapted it to fit in here, and obviously did a lot of changes, but it's based on that little documentary I made about Manfred Trenz himself. And there it is, and you can see down here it's got my name, which is wow, it's what an honor to have that in here, to be a part of this. Makes me teary-eyed almost. And like I said, there will be a full video on this in the not too distant future, so look out for that.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Welcome to my rapid fire look at classic PC Engine and MSX games. New series available now. Okay, here is my package that I ordered. Let's check this thing out. I know what it is. I just let's try not to destroy them. Some interesting packaging. Okay, cool. Here it is. Okay, so what we've got here is 3 issues of a kind of a UK magazine. I picked up 1, 2, and 3, all 3 volumes of this, and I saw this actually on Twitter. A guy I know on there, Darren Doyle, he actually posted this, and I saw that. I went and checked it out. These were very cheap, and even importing them it was cheap. It's like magazines on retro games done in a style of like 90s kind of UK magazines. There's variant covers of these magazines as well, so I chose the Japanese variants. As you can see, it just gives it a much, I don't know, it just gives it a much cooler style. And There's obviously the English variants that just has the English kind of cover, which looks completely different. And this is a pretty awesome little magazines highlighting all kind of, I would say, kind of like modern indie games, the games that I really like, at least for a modern styles. And look at these adverts. These adverts on all over the place are just amazing. Check at this. I love that. It's like done in the 90s kind of magazine style. I will be highlighting these magazines in an episode of Pop Culture Quick Bites also, that'll be up and coming, so you can see a lot more detail about this. I'll leave links in this video description for you to pick these up if you're interested. And that's it. As you can see, this place is demolitioned. I'm going to have to clean it all up. I'm going to be checking out this choplifter right now. Just interested to see if it actually works. I hope it does. And I'll start playing all those games and testing them out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Bastish B at 64K. I hope you had a good time. And if you can please like and subscribe, that'll be greatly appreciated. I'll see you next time. Cheers.